Hello, everyone. Welcome to our SICTIC Investor Days here at the Startup Days in Bern. It's our all-star session, which means we are going to have 6 startups that are in an active funding round presenting today, as well as one of their investors who's going to pitch for them as well. So, quickly introduce myself. My name is Pascal Speck. I'm part of SICTIC operations team. I'm going to moderate this event today, and this is what we've got planned for you today. We're going to hear from our president some words about SICTIC for those of you who are not familiar yet. Then we're going to have a keynote by Dariu Trüb, and then it's about the startup pitches, as I mentioned, followed by an investor pitch and a short Q&A where you can ask 1-2 questions about the startups. All right, with that, I would like to welcome our president, Dr. Thomas Dübendorfer, on stage to talk about SICTIC.
So good to see you. Let's first do a little poll. So who in the audience is a startupper? Hands up, please. Oh, we have quite some startuppers, that's cool. And who is an investor, who has done at least one investment? Okay, and who has never invested and wants to invest? Oh, we only have experienced people here. Cool. Fantastic. So yeah, for those that are not very familiar with what we do, SICTIC has one mission. We bring together the best founders with the best matching investors. And this is our event, but we also do that online. And we typically do the first and the second round. And then if they need the big millions, the 10 million plus, we are no longer really helpful because angels, they do smaller tickets, but they bring a lot of additional value like network to clients, industry insights, and sometimes also talent. And we have international investors. Even though the biggest part of our investor base is in Switzerland, we have about 5% of investors abroad. Like, for example, High-Tech Gründerfonds from Germany or Merentix from Berlin. They also invest into Swiss startups through our deal matchmaking platform. And the nice thing for startup is it's quite a good service. It's free, and we try to be high quality as we can. And if you see our portfolio, it's about 400 startups that we could support. Some of them came more than one time to us, and they have created about 10,000 jobs. Now, where are our investors? So we recently put the pin in every city where we have at least one investor within Switzerland. And you see there's a cluster around Geneva, Lausanne, Bern, Zurich, Zug, even in Ticino and Schaffhausen, we have some investors. So basically in any city where there's a startup, there's now also an investor. So next door, maybe don't even know that we have an investor there. But the idea is that anybody can invest in any startup, doesn't need to be in the same city, of course. And we have a lot of partners that make it possible. So we work with amazing hosts where we can do our events. So from industry like Google or AWS, or we work with ETH as well, like the AI Center. And we have not just private people, we also have institutional investors. We see some funds here, like Zürcher Kantonalbank or Swisscom Ventures or others, that also look at our deal flow. So it could be that you end up not just with an angel investment, but also with a VC investment. And yeah, just moving forward, if you want to get the latest news, we have a lot of social media where you can be a follower. We also like you to comment on our social media stuff. So yeah, you find all the stuff here with all the channels that we have. We also have some nice videos, mostly educational content. And with this, I hand over to the moderator.
Yeah,
I guess.
And I hand over to our keynote speaker, Dariu, who is a founder and investor himself, and he's going to talk about happy restart and what makes a performance is not like what is why performance starts, where the hustle ends, and much more. Dariu, please.
We're in 2006, I'm 19 years old, and I have to make a very big decision. Should I close the company, or should I raise a new round of investment? Now, somehow I have a very bad feeling about it, but we're getting a new investor on board. We have a new co-founder that can come in and transform a distribution business of kitesurf to a full-owned brand. So rationally, we go for it. Now, what happens after 8 months? we run out of cash. So again, I have to make the decision, what do I do? Do I close the business? I have a very bad feeling about it, but still, now we have another investor that could come in, bring not only cash, but a full network of distribution for the kitesurf. So rationally, I'm like, let's go for it. 8 months later, what happens? We run out of cash. Many, many lessons to be learned for something like this. But what I'd like us to focus today is, could I have listened then to my intuition? Is there something we can do with intuition? Now, this dichotomy between my feelings and my rational continued. It continued in other started projects. It continued as an impact investor. And it only stopped when I took action. The first action I took, and it was difficult, was to do meditation. With meditation, for the first time, I got a clearer picture on what happens within me. I could map an event, an outside event, and how I would feel it, how it would translate. And that changed my perspective on many things. A second development that changed my understanding of intuition is hypnosis. I trained to become a hypnotherapist and discovered that we have an unconscious mind that directs most of our doings. And I was able, thanks to these studies, to be able to understand the causes of stress and reprogram them through certain self-hypnosis techniques. So this led me to a full retreat of many years where I focus on these different techniques that allows you basically to sharpen your intuition. So with this, I want to go back to this startup kitesurfing business. What could I have done differently, or why I was not able to listen to my intuition then? And I think there are 3 reasons why I was not able to listen to my intuition. The first one is that you actually need to believe that intuition is such a thing. At the time, intuition was like, what? I mean, there is numbers, there is rationality. Intuition is not anything concrete or rational. Do not listen to it, just follow the numbers. Today, there is studies that shows you that actually intuition is something. So you need to study it, you need to understand that it's real. The second thing is that you actually need to have time and space to listen to yourself. What does it mean to have time and space? It means that if you need to make a decision right now, there is no listening to yourself. You need the time to make a decision and to feel whatever comes to you. And the second thing is you need this space. You need to be able to go right or left. What does it mean? In my kitesurf business, I was not ready to close the business. That was not an option. Then there is no listening to yourself. If there is only one option for you, if you're not in this sort of equilibrium state where you're okay to close your business, then you will only go for the solution to continue, even though it might be a mistake. And the last part is that actually you need a clear mind. Would you want to access your inner intuition? And going for intuition when you're in a hustle mode, hyper stress, with anxiety and fear, this is the equivalent of drinking and driving. A very bad idea. All right, so now that we have a understanding of the pillars on what do you need to listen to your intuition, how does it actually translate to a business case? So 6 months ago, I decided to go back to startups, and one of the main task we had with my co-founder was to find another co-founder. Now, it proved for us to be very difficult. We didn't manage to find anyone. I was becoming very, very, very frustrated. And as we were doing an interview with a psychologist, we were in mental health, I found someone that was perfect. Perfect CV, rationally, everything looked good. We had many rounds of exchanges, and I was like, let's onboard him. Until I realized, wait, am I being hasty? So first thing I do, I take a little bit of time and space. I tell my co-founder that we'll wait 2 weeks before we onboard him. After 1 week, I decide to do a little exercise with a clarity of mind, and I close my eyes and ask myself, how do I actually feel about working with this new person? And I felt tense. I felt my body contracting. I was like, whoa, that's really weird. I mean, this guy looks perfect, he has a perfect CV. I mean, strong. I then decided to continue this exercise and ask myself, what's the picture? What do I see about working with him? And I saw something very sticky, gluey, really nasty image. And there it was. I was like, oh my God, but actually I do not feel comfortable working with that person for whatever reason. It's really uncomfortable. So here's a case where you get an extra view on a decision you could be making, and intuition can help you get that new information. So to get even more concrete for you guys, how do you actually do this? How do you put in place something with intuition? The first thing I could say is that start easy. You could actually use your intuition through an image of an animal. So let's say you need to hire someone new. Everything looks good, it's rationally perfect. Close your eyes, get in a clear state of mind, and just picture this person as an animal. What is it doing? How does it interact with you? How do you actually feel in this scene playing and working with that person? So that might sound crazy, but it will actually give you another point of view in how you feel about working with this person. Another possibility for you is actually to use your body as a sort of mechanism to feel your intuition. So the way you could do it is actually use the palm of your hand as a scale to understand how you feel. Now, the idea would be that the middle of your palm would be a sort of neutral state. Tip of your finger would be like, well, I feel very aligned. And the upper part would be, no, I feel misaligned. So the exercise would be like, okay, I need to hire this new person. How do I feel? And then the whole game is to let go and be able to feel actually where your finger is going. In the same way that you might have heard of automatic writing or things that might happen under hypnosis. That can be tough for many people, but it actually works. So would I have anything to conclude? Would be that this tool, intuition, has really changed my life. I think it has allowed me to have a new data point to make, I feel, better decision. Has a great return on investment for myself. I think it could be also something for you. And if I had the last word, would be really test it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dariu. Does anyone have a question now? We have time for maybe one or two questions before we move to the startup pitches.
You have good examples. You have also good examples that you tested yourself in the other direction. It's good that you didn't recruit the other guy, but I guess with your positive intuitions, you did some good decisions as well, no?
So like decisions are tough because one day you can think they're great, the next day you think, oh, they were not so great, and 10 years later you think, well, they're amazing. What changes is that actually, if I see them at some point good or bad, I feel aligned. I feel I've went through the whole process of really feeling what was inside me and doing something that was aligned. So I might miss an investment opportunity that actually did great. But somehow, if I felt that founder was misleading me or someone dodgy, okay, I might not have made the return. But this time, I actually stood my ground and made what I believe.
Anyone else has a brief question to Dariu? All right, thank you again very much.
Thank you.
So now it's time for our startups to get ready. We have this QR code where all SICTIC investors, you can scan and indicate your interest. Of course, you can also manually, after our session, go to the startups, the founders, or even the investors and talk to them. But if so, here's a brief chance to scan now. And so again, how it's going to go, we are going in alphabetical order. We have 6 startups presenting today, and they are presenting for 3 minutes. We're going to be strict here with a cut-off time. And then it's followed by the investor of the startup who can pitch the startup for 90 seconds, followed by a brief Q&A, and then the next startup. All right. So now I'm asking Aizo to come on stage. And here's your 3 minutes for your pitch.
Okay, and do I change slides?
You change slide by next, or back.
Okay, thank you. I hope you have a nice feeling towards me. Okay, I'm Nino. I'm glad to be here today. I'm a co-founder and head of research at ISO Technologies. Okay, 91% of the asset managers want to use AI within their investment decision-making process. We have built a solution. It's an AI platform that's AI native platform. We allow them to use their portfolios to access our expected return models, risk models. They can play with their portfolios, analyze the risk, and also what's important, we have also introduced agentic AI layer. What does that mean? We own the full technology. They're able to talk to their portfolios, and if they're happy with it, they're able to wrap it as investment product. Okay. AI is now becoming really a top budget. We are seeing a serviceable, obtainable market of $4.4 billion US. And the reason why we have a competitive edge is because of the three following reasons. Team, we have a great team that we believe we are jointly working on this agenda. Our people are leading AI in finance, okay? Our platform we are owning the full stack of a risk model, expected return side models, optimizers, and we have next generation predictive models. Exempli Grazia, we build our own large language models because we need to understand what's happening. It works much better to understand market impact of the news, okay? I'll tell you more details if you're interested about it. We are regulatory ready, and our customers can have agents that are verifiable, okay? What is our business model? We have subscription type model. For some type of clients that want premium features, we can also build it for them, and that is what we do. And sometimes we do profit sharing or fee sharing. Exempli Grazia at Zurich Cantonal Bank, we have a joint active managed certificate with them where we are having a performance fee. And that's nice for us. Our team, a little bit about the team. Myself, here we have a quant of a year Professor Kolm. I'm teaching machine learning for finance at ETH Zurich. I'm full-time at the company last 5 years. We have business people and people that were in the financial industry for years. Over the last year, we double up the number of clients. Our current open deal amount is 2.4 million Swiss francs. And we have, in the due diligence process, with tier one asset managers and sovereign wealth funds that are currently making a large due diligence on our platform, should they become our customers. Okay, it's your opportunity to go together on this journey with us. We have a late seed round. 70% of that seed round is already filled. We have $500,000 still open with convertible loans. This is the selected version of clients that we have. And one more time, if you're happy, we are here. You can talk to us, find out more, and you can come to journey with us about the next generation asset managers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ISO. You can stay close by. And now, your investor's already here.
There we are. Okay, does it work? Yeah, my name is Thomas Billeter. I've been a SICTIC member for quite some time, from the early days. And I'm very pleased and honored to be able to be part of the journey of ISOT. I've always been fascinated by algorithmic trading in the very early days. Tried to invest in one or two of those companies, never made it to the cap table because they were very exclusive deals. Then came along the first trial with sentiment based on unstructured data. There was at some point a company that was very active in this sentiment space. I was able to get in there. Unfortunately, the company didn't succeed in the end, but again, a very fascinating area. Now comes AI and the ability with the large language model to make sense of unstructured data, and now the world is really what I had imagined it to be. So to be able to join ISOT was, for me, a really good opportunity. Why ISOT? But they have a very science-founded team, both in US and in Switzerland. They have a number of financial services professionals on board, so very solid. Second item, they have a platform that they have built that not only cracked the code of AI-based investment, but also provides a platform for asset managers to basically build their own product, their own fund, and to share that with customer. So they have customer, we have seen it, and they have a long funnel, and so we are really excited what's coming on. I didn't train with 90 seconds, so.
Thank you so much. You can keep the mic. Yeah. Does anyone from the audience have a question to either the ISO CEO or investor? Yeah?
How's the competitor landscape?
So I think that we have a slide on this. So yeah. So there are kind of QRaft and others that are not to name. Like, we are among the youngest. We raised only around 5 million. With our technological stack, we are kind of covering really much more than they are covering. We are an AI native company. We are building AI from scratch. We are very unique there, and we are building the models in-house for these things. And with 7 people, and not all of them software developers, we really think that through years we show that, we are able to grow.
Any other questions?
So I have to admit, this is a prepared slide. Of course they are. There is not kind of big enough that we know by their names. So of course they are. They are all the time. Some at this stage smaller, but not to the best of my knowledge. You can show me if you know others. We would happily include them here to know.
And we still have some time if anyone has another question.
So currently we are kind of lower 6 number digits on our journey, but our platform is still new. So we kind of see double the number of clients that we are signing. So that's kind of where we are standing, and we have a due diligence room, so you can kind of find out more where we are.
All right.
I invite you there.
Thank you very much. And so next up is Rovika Neuroimaging.
Welcome everybody. I'm Martin Hlavica, a board-certified neurosurgeon, the co-founder and CEO of Rovika Neuroimaging. Over the past decades, new navigation technologies appeared, but still neurosurgeons are making critical decisions about 2 million neurosurgical procedures every year based on outdated maps with no live signal. Because these navigation technologies are based on pre-acquired old images. But living brain tissue is soft, it moves, it's dynamic and not static. This leads to surgical errors, worse clinical outcomes, and at the end, higher healthcare costs. We're closing this critical gap with our SONAV platform by integrating real-time guidance and monitoring directly in the tip of the neurosurgical instruments, which will have a significant impact on the patient outcomes, but also give peace of mind to the neurosurgeons, and at the end, very importantly, it will be seamlessly integrated into the neurosurgical workflows. Now, where do we start initially? We focus on the emergency placement of such a life-saving brain catheter in the middle of a patient's brain in patients after severe head trauma or also all kind of brain bleeds to relieve life-threatening brain pressure. Now, today, despite all technological developments, still most of these procedures are done blindly. Why? Because time is brain, time is critical. This leads to misplacement rates of about 30%, remembering myself placing such a catheter in the middle of a young family father and missing my first attempt, asking myself, where did I end up in that brain? And knowing I lost critical time. Here's the paradox. New cars, parking sensor to avoid a small bump. Here we're talking about neurosurgeon placing such a catheter and poking blindly around in a patient's brain. We're solving that with our SONAV EVD catheter system by integrating miniaturized ultrasound transducer arrays that can tip of the catheter, which will give us vision in front of us to place that catheter directly at the bedside, not blindly but navigated. Safer, faster, cost efficient. It's a class 2 medical device confirmed by the FDA. We've done 2 human cadaveric studies at the beginning of this year. And from business perspective, it's a classical razor blade model to focus on these single-use catheters. It's an attractive multi-billion-dollar opportunity for the whole platform, starting with these single EVD catheters, moving to the permanently placed catheters, and ending up at additional neurosurgical instruments. Who is behind that? With an experienced team covering neurosurgery, business development, and also R&D. I left my clinical neurosurgical work 2 years ago to dedicate my time fully to the startup. Right now, we're raising 5 million in dilutive and non-dilutive funding to finalize the product, get the whole tests until the FDA clearance. This will be planned for Q1 2028. We've already committed 1.5 million from our previous investors, and we're very excited to present you more in detail. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're now going to hear from your investor.
Thank you very much. I'm Nicholas Guggenheim, and I'm a SICTIC member, and also invested in this company about a year ago. And why did I invest? Well, first because of the team, the people, and especially Martin, a neurosurgeon who found a problem, developed a solution, had his company, and fully dedicated his time in this company. This is what I called really it's commitment, extraordinary commitment. Secondly, the solution. The problem is well known, and there is today no solution, good solution, and this solution will help patients, will help hospitals to decrease the costs, and will help physicians to reduce the risk. And as Martin said, it's not only one solution, it's a platform for many other indications. So this is why I invested a year ago. But now there is a next round, and I decided to follow because the risk of this product, the business risk, is lower. And why is it lower? Because as Martin said, they could demonstrate that the solution works on cadavers, which is much more challenging than patients. So it does work. You see where you want to go. The first time in neurosurgery where you can see it. This is amazing. Secondly, they have a FDA clearance pathway. The FDA told them how to do the regulatory. It's straightforward, it's easy. Thirdly, they have been funded by a VC fund that had, which is expertise in medtech, did a full due diligence. And fourth, they have a community of neurosurgeons in the US and in Europe that are just ready to adopt the solution once it's on the market. This is why I will invest in the next round. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anyone has a question?
Thank you very much for this very interesting solution. I have just a question. Nowadays in neuronavigation, we use MR in the suit, in the treatment surgery room. Is your solution MR compatible?
Yes, that's the goal. I mean, you have to do follow-up MRI scans in patients' severe head trauma for diagnostic of certain parts. It will be MRI compatible.
Another question? No? Well, you're here even after the event, so if anything comes up, do not hesitate to reach out. And yeah, you can submit your interest in any startups. And now we're moving on to hero support.
Thank you. So, I'm the CEO, co-founder of Hero Support. I overviewed more than 20,000 cancer cases, and I've seen the hospitals under stress. We'll have an increase of 40% in time, and more than 1 out of 5 women will have a cancer, breast cancer, under the age of 50. So we need to have a solution that is easy, that allows for a better workflow in the hospitals, and improves the disability that comes from radiation therapy. This is why we produced a Venus shell. It's the first 3D printed, personalized immobilization devices that is easy to use, has a model, a form that allows for avoiding treating the heart and the lung and creating damage. And it is so easy and fast to use that the hospital can improve the output and even make an income with our device. So how do we do this? We did a study. We showed we are millimetric in positioning. This thanks to the fact that we have patented solutions that allow us to image not only the breast but the arm. So we know the form and we can reproduce the form. There's another patent on the device, which has just been CE marked, and we produce it and send it to the hospital. We can do this for other sites. So we are bringing these devices to the hospitals with distributors because they will have not only a fee on the package, but also a fee on the recurring revenue of the shell that is something yearly. Our main interesting market, 300 million yearly, is the US, where the device is already reimbursed 2 times the price that we are asking for. So thanks to several grants and a startup innovation project, we have reached our main milestone, which is CE mark. We have a first distributor. I'm just back from the European Congress. We have 3 new distributors being signed, contracts for serving several areas of Europe. And we want to go to FDA. This is also why we are working with a KOL in New York. So thanks to all this, we can move forward, and we are doing this with a very small team, but of very dedicated people. Together with me, Johan is writing the software we use, running the lab. We have a person with more than 30 years experience in radiation therapy. He was the vice president of sales and marketing of Varian, today Siemens Healthineers. Together with the rest of my team and hospitals like New York Langone, his London, Genolier, and other Italian hospitals, we are bringing this product to the market now. So today I'm offering you the possibility to join us. We are starting with a CLA, opening a new round of minimum 3 million. The CLA will be a maximum of 1 million, and 400,000 is already committed for my previous investors. We are looking to a lead investor. The moment this investor is in, we will end up. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Giulia Rizzo. I'm an investor in Hero Support, and I'll tell you why. In medtech, it is common to invest years before a product reaches the market, after long development phases, high cost, and a lot of uncertainties. Hero Support is different. They have a strong intellectual property, a simple yet powerful solution to support the fight against breast cancer, and a product that is already commercialized. Not in 5 years, now, which is a rare advantage in medtech. And of course, when we invest, we also invest in people. And I've known Giovanna, the CEO of Hero Support, for more than 3 years. And I've seen the company deliver over time on the goals they set themselves. So this is why I invest in Hero Support. And now I invite you to take a closer look at the company and join us to scale faster.
Who has a question to Hero Support? Very shy audience this afternoon.
Too few women.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, here is a woman.
How do you see when you introduce it to hospital and doctors? What's the biggest bottleneck, or why would they not use it?
So why they would not use it is because nowadays they are so used to something else, at least in Europe. But we already have some European customers interested, and in Switzerland 2 demos coming up. And this is also why US is so important for us. In US, prone is a standard, and QL from New York just wanted to be part of our study. So we know that US will be easier. Why not use it? Because it's new for them. But I think that's why we are doing the study. We need some scientific evidence for them to say, oh. And we will prove that for a certain group of patients, we would be unethical to propose what we are doing today. I think that will be a key element to move them.
You brought some models with you today. What
Yes,
would you like
sure.
to show with them?
So just to say, this would have been the example of a breast that if you would have treated on today on lying on the back, the breast would be hanging on the chest wall, right? So the patient understands, we get patient contacting us, that they're going to get irradiated the heart and the lung. We want to treat them this way, but the patient is hanging in a cutout. You cannot reposition the same way the breast. This is essential because we have a plan where we want to hit the target and save the healthy tissues. So what we've done is doing this model. You can see we created the device exactly for that patient. And why we are so fast? Because the patient finds their own position. We did study in Geneva University Hospital where I was working, and the technician can, through the holes and the nipple, know if the patient is already in position. So if your arm is not right, you can already instruct the patient. And so a very easy solution.
Thank you very much for presenting this. So next up, we're going to have Machine MD.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dominic Sen. I'm co-founder and CEO of Machine MD. At Machine MD, we're trying to contribute to the big topic and challenge we have in neurological healthcare and all the neurological disorders that are there, which is basically an epidemic. A recent Lancet paper showed that 40% of all people have a neurological issue worldwide, and this is increasing and not decreasing. The way we're doing that at Machine MD is that we leverage the rich information about brain function that is available if we look at how the eyes and pupils move and how they react to certain stimuli. That's clinically nothing new. Today that's done very manual, subjectively, highly trained specialists who are doing these type of exams. Our goal is to democratize that so it's available in a GP's office, at the optician shop, basically everywhere, and can be done by everyone. So the first device that we developed is a medical device. We call it NEOS. It produces objective biomarkers in a fully standardized way. So digital biomarkers for a whole range of brain functions and different brain regions like brainstem, the chiasma, the optic nerve, the visual cortex, all over the brain, because the visual system in the brain is taking up so much space in the brain, actually. What is interesting is that the market moves, so the eye care market moves towards healthcare in general. So to leverage routine eye exams, not just to assess the health of the eyes themselves, but also to assess cardiovascular health through imaging of the retinal cells, where we see all the vessels, etc., and also to assess brain health. So all the big strategic players in the field, they start integrating systematic or systemic health screenings and assessments based on eye exams. What we are providing, there are a number of companies working with AI-based image analysis to detect the relevant diseases. What we are doing is like the functional brain health layer through eye and pupil movements. If we look at the business model or where we are active, one part is we are selling our device into clinics and practices as a medical diagnostic device. That's already happening. We are selling the device into pharma trials because all the pharma companies developing drugs and new molecules for neurological disorders, they are eager to have objective, standardized digital biomarkers as part of exploratory or secondary endpoints in their studies. And the third one is leveraging the solution that we build, which is a diagnostic cloud backend that can take in eye tracking data from different sources, to leverage that also for the smart eyewear that is coming up as a new computing interface to provide individualized brain health monitoring the same way as we have cardiovascular monitoring through smart watches. We have 40 systems installed. We have market access and approval in Europe and the US. We have won 2 big pharma tenders for phase 3 trials. We are under NDA-covered discussions with all the main strategics in our fields about partnerships and the potential early exit for our diagnostic cloud backend. We are raising 4 million and happy to chat if anyone is interested. Thank you.
Thank you. Your investor is now welcome to pitch for you.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah, great. So a bit more than 30 years ago, a boy named Dominic, myself, were living in the same street. We were getting into trouble together, and we were dreaming big. We lost eye contact, and we met again in the Silicon Valley at an investor conference. He told me the story, and I was blown away. So I invested. Why? For 3 very specific reasons. First, the problem is massive. So neurological diseases are exploding. You could hear that before. And frontline diagnostic needs to be more accessible, so it still remains very difficult to get there, and they've found a solution to do that from any actual point. Second, the technology they're using is unique and it's mind-blowing. They've turned the human eye into the window of your brain. So they've built a platform for a regulated market that is actually transforming movements of your eye into objective clinical biomarkers. And this allows you to really understand what's going on in your brain. Third reason why I've invested is it's perfect timing. So there's more and more demand for smart glasses for actually understanding continuous measuring on what's happening in our brains. They have found a solution, they have market access, and now they need you for the next round of financing.
Thank you very much. May I have one mic for someone in the audience who has a question? Yes.
So how different is the solution from the glasses that they apply when you have, balance issues to understand how your eyes move? Could there be a competitor, or it's completely different from what you do?
No, that's very similar, actually. So we can also assess if there's a patient with nausea or dizziness, if it's an issue within the brain, basically, or if it's an issue coming from the balance organ in your ear. What we cannot do, there are some specific tests where you need to turn the head very rapidly and you need super light eye goggles in order to do that. That's not possible with our solution. But in principle, it's the same solution, yes. But our focus is less on dizziness. It's more Parkinson is a huge topic, MS is a huge topic, brain tumors is a huge topic, mild strokes is a huge topic. So lesions in the brainstem, for example, and other diseases. Yeah.
Do you know, let's say, which is the percentage of how exact you are or not in the diagnostic that you provide?
Yeah, so we have large data sets collected in clinical studies on Parkinson patients, on MS patients, fewer on Alzheimer's, and also few rare diseases. We have models where we can discriminate with the sensitivity and specificity above 0.9 if someone has Parkinson or is healthy, same with MS. Parkinson or Alzheimer's is a bit more difficult, that's more tricky, doesn't have these clear signs. And then it has very clear signals for many rare diseases like Huntington's disease, Gaucher type 3 disease, myasthenia gravis. These are all rare diseases, but they add up. So if you look at all those rare diseases, then they're not that rare anymore. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Machine MD. And I now welcome the CEO of Ovomind to hold his pitch. Here you are. Great.
Hello, so my name is Jan Fracci, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Ovomind. And so today, machines can process data very well, but they miss something that is really important in a human life, it's emotion. Because emotion is representing 80% of our decisions are made using emotion. And today, digital systems are emotionally blind. And it's a huge gap, it's a multi-billion-dollar gap in AI, and we're already addressing it with massive sector in the industry, like Kirin to user research, Netflix to creating a new interactive media using emotion, and Logitech on mental health. So we simply process biosignal information available on smartwatches like Samsung Watch, and we can process in real time to address this new data and make it actionable under 300 milliseconds. So why we win? Because we have 15 patents, solid IP, more than 10,000 people recorded on the data, and 81% accuracy. It's a state-of-the-art in biometric sensing, and you are real time. and we can rely on hardware, so Samsung or Google, and we're deploying also soon on more mass market device. And we are software agnostic, so if you want to integrate in a web page or even your autonomous driving car, you can do it. So we're selling, we have a basic plan and also user research plan, we're $99 a year, but our plan is to have a SaaS model, $5 to $7 per user per year, and it's all scalable to million. So we bringing value everywhere there is a human and a machine. So for instance, we imagine like a mental health coach using your emotion or your next generation of TV shows, integrating also this input with Netflix. And so as the founder, MIT say, we don't know if AI harms more than helps today, but what we know it needs to be more emotional savvy. And we're addressing affective computing market more than 340 billion, and we're targeting 1% of this realistic, so it's a realistic opportunity on this market. So biometric information are more accurate in terms of ground truth compared to EEG, facial coding, and video voice recognition system, because it can be used on anybody, and we're doing it real time. So now we're securing a 5 million round this year, and we are this year compatible with mass market devices. And it's allowed us to reach, it become a global standard by 2031 with 100 million USD annual recurring revenue. And it's not only discussion, it's we already signed contract more than 100K revenue this year, more than 10 POC ongoing, and 150 leads over 700 million annual recurring revenue potential. So we have a wonderful team on 9 PhDs and a unique advisor like the ex-CEO of Sega. And we're asking for 5 million with 1 million in CLA opening right now. We already raised 3.8 million, and 70% of the company is held by the co-founders. So yeah, join us to change the new generation of AI with Overmind.
Thank you very much. So now it's your investor who's pitching for you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marcel Egger. I'm also investor and director at SICTIC. I invested in this company several years ago. First, it was a dream. And you convinced that it was a dream. Yes, I'm going to see my sentiments in a screen. It's going to be great. Well, first element, yes, you have shown the proof of concept. It has been proven that this works. So this is reality here. And that was the great first good news. Secondly, initially, they were saying, yes, we want to go in the gaming. You are a good gamer. You are completely mad about gaming. You said that is the big market. Everybody is looking for games, looking for new ways of using this technology in the gaming. But then later on, what happened? You have seen new verticals coming in, smart city, health, and in essence, wellness and well-being, exactly. So the number of markets are growing and fastly. Third element, scaling up. You have shown that you have contracts that have been signed on new games that are being developed as we speak today. Not only that, you have POCs which have been signed as well in the smart city in Japan, as you were mentioning before. So that one is bringing very clear traction in the growth pattern here. Also, you have mentioned Samsung.
Yeah, we are compatible with
the compatibility of the device into watches. So that is great. So the possibilities of growth are even higher as before. And finally, and not the smallest one, is the team. Very energetic team, dedicated, disciplined, and you are doing very well. So 3 elements why this is important. It has been further de-risked. It works. The technology works. The second thing is there is bigger potential. And the third one is with the same great team that you're continuing to work.
Thank you very much. Who has a question to Overmind? Yes.
Thanks. How do you actually determine the difference between fear, stress, excitement? I have an Aura ring, and it just tells me I'm stressed all of the time, right? So how do you actually make that distinction between the different states of mind or different emotions?
Yeah. So thank you for the question. So we actually, in neuroscience, you can describe one emotion by two components. One is the arousal value, which is the level of excitation, physical excitation, and the valence value, it's emotion is positive or negative. So we train our algorithm to detect both arousal and valence, and we use a renowned model to, in the space you see the two axes. So we're moving basically in a two-dimensional dot into this mapping, and we have 8 emotions, and we calculate the distance between the current point and what is the closest emotion. And this mapping is scientific, so it's not us that develop the mapping. We just have the ability to detect arousal and valence very precisely. And that's how we determine the emotions.
Someone else wants to ask a question.
Do you also look at pupils?
No, actually, we don't use the image as an input. We only use biometrics information to be more, because we have some competitors that use image but the thing is, on emotion space, images is always geometry. And the geometry, you can have a 100% accuracy, but you only track a geometry. And we want to go layer, so a layer down with the real heart and the brain, representation.
Thank you very much, Overmind. So we're now actually already coming to the last pitch of this afternoon, which is, oh, is it the second last pitch? Sorry, I miscounted. Sorry about that. It's Provu, in any case, who's next. And here you go.
Thank you very much. My name is Gabriel. I'm one of the co-founders at Provu. And we are developing solutions for outdoor recreation when you have challenges to see. Here, we are close to the mountains. I hope some of you enjoy winter sports. And it's a real problem when you have a day like this. You have poor visibility on the mountain. It happens too frequently, and it can lead to serious injury. But it also represents a financial cost for the businesses who operate here. Imagine if you compare the sunny weekend that you went to the mountain versus a cloudy day, and how many or how few people were out there. Well, our solution can make this day transform into a day where you can see all the detail, increasing the contrast significantly and even the visual range, which is quite interesting, not just for winter sport, but for many applications that suffer from low visibility. The solution works actually by taking components we can use from other consumer goods, integrating them into an XR solution built directly into a ski goggle. The cameras use real-time image processing and have a transparent AR display. We can capture also the memories through video. Just the winter sports market, which is our beachhead, already has 10 million snow goggles sold a year. 30% of them are already premium. People are spending a tremendous amount on their winter sports, but not getting enough from them. And this is a beachhead where we can see mountaineering, search and rescue, other motocross, and even aviation applications for low vision. Where are we today? We've shown the market traction in this industry already with a Kickstarter campaign that was very successful at the beginning of the year. We were the all-time top ski product on a Kickstarter. We raised almost as much as Oura Ring did in their Kickstarter. And we've also won significant outdoor award prizes, such as ISPO, which is one of the biggest events in the sports tech sector. We have functional prototypes, and we're moving towards shipping the first units from that Kickstarter campaign for this winter season, which is our goal. This is all patented technology. We have patents granted in the US and Europe. The team, the 3 co-founders, we've all come from a medtech background, a lot of medtech solutions here today. We know how to develop life-saving products that need high quality. And now we're joined together with Mark, who joins us, having the experience coming from the outdoor industry. There have been solutions in smart glasses already for many years, most of them until now, sadly, unsuccessful. They've tried to solve quite different problems. In snow sports, people have tried to put statistics or navigation, things that actually don't really need real-time information. We are solving a fundamental sense vision. So please join us for the upcoming round. We are raising for the scale-up to accelerate the time to market, and had successfully raised already last year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now it's up to your investor.
Yes, hello everybody. The most of you know me, Ralph Mochicato. I'm also investor via syndicate in Provu, and I have to read 1, 3, 4. No, I don't need that, because this is so cool. I do 40 days skiing at least every year, and if I would have that, I would do 80 days. So just say that it's a super cool gadget, and we joined the journey very early actually, and I'm very happy to tell you that the team is great. They're progressing. There's still big obstacles in the world. It's hardware, it's software, and we do a goggle which should be used very easily. But if you want to be a part of that journey, join us. We also will do a syndicate, so I also can go in with lower tickets. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much. So your chance again to ask any questions. Yeah.
There's no questions.
There is.
Sorry, Ralph.
I'm happy to. So many of my accidents happen when the weather suddenly changes, because I'm also not great at going down in cloudy conditions. So when it changes, what's the lapse time currently that you see? Is there a lapse in the change from one state to another using the AR goggles? Is there seconds or?
It's user controlled, and when it's off, it's transparent. So exactly, you can have days where you start at the top of the hill in sunshine, and as you go down, it immediately gets foggy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So with a touch of a button, you can take it from standby to on. It's less than 100 milliseconds. In fact, I've turned it on and off while skiing, for example, but not what I would recommend for everyone to do.
All right, fantastic, thanks.
Anyone else would like to ask a question this afternoon? Yes.
So maybe too quick. I saw that there is a remote control. It was.
There's a handheld where the processor and the battery is to keep it protected from the cold and to not have the weight onto the ski goggle. Okay. Yes.
And how long lasts the battery?
The battery runtime is for 4 hours of continuous use. I know we all like to ski a full day, but actually we're not skiing 4 hours downhill. So if you're in the line, if you're on the lift, you can put it onto standby. It recharges with a standard USB-C.
Thank you very much. So we now are actually at the end. We heard all the pitches of these 6 promising startups. Again, if you are an investor and would like to indicate interest, please scan the QR code. Give you a second to do so. And yeah, so what happens now? Here is an overview of SICTIC's matchmaking process. I'm sure all the investors who just presented, as well as anyone else from SICTIC, is more than happy if you have any questions about that later on to explain more about that. So yeah, basically there's gonna be more happening after the event, but the most important thing today, I would say, is yeah, that you indicate your interest, that you talk to them, and yeah, hopefully it will lead to step 4, which is deal closing. So without that, we're actually already about to wrap up this session. Here, I would like to point out what we're doing at SICTIC next. So as you can see, we have a lot of events coming up as well in summer. And feel free to also scan this QR code where you have a wonderful overview of all events that we're doing and other pitch event, as well as academies for our SICTIC investors. And yeah, so those are, for example, 2 academies happening soon. And if you are not yet, this is a perfect chance also today to sign up as a SICTIC investor. And if you have any questions about that, we're more than happy to talk to you about this. if anyone else would like to ask any final questions or closing thoughts, you would be welcome to do so, as we have another minute or two. Otherwise, I suggest we close this event and start with the informal networking. Thank you so much.